Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, the Bears have signed a safety before Thursday Night Football against Washington. We'll tell you who that player is in just a moment. And what does this addition mean for Eddie Jackson? Is he going to return this week? He made some comments last night about his injury status. Obviously a short week. We'll explore the injury report. And Chase Claypool, could he actually end up getting cut, as the Bears may not be able to find a trade partner for him? All that and more coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. But first, today's show presented by True Classic. And guys, let's talk about these t-shirts for a second. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're amazing. True Classic completely re-engineered how t-shirts fit, creating a looser in the gut and tighter fit around the arms and shoulders. The fabric feels like butter and makes for a comfortable base layer on chilly days. Trust me, you're going to get a lot of compliments when you wear these t-shirts, their polos, and don't get me started with their comfort jeans as well. They're my go-to. Now that fall is back, it is jean weather once again. And you can buy in bulk as well. Check out their 3, 6, and 9 packs for extra savings. All you got to do is go to trueclassic.com/chatsports25, code chatsports25, going to get you 25% off at checkout. That's trueclassic.com/chatsports25, code chatsports25. Go check out True Classic today. I'm rocking one of their golf polos right now. trueclassic.com/chatsports25, code chatsports25, link and promo code in the description of this video. Before we get to all of that other stuff I teased, let's start with the quarterback. Justin Fields had his weekly presser today. Usually it's on Wednesdays, but with the Bears playing on Thursday night, got moved up a day. He just wants to win. He's tired of losing. Says that's all he's focused on right now is finding a way to win a game. Here's what he had to say earlier today. He said, "Winning is the number one thing on my mind. I'd rather do that than accomplish any individual goal or individual statistic that there is. I'm trying to get a dub." And listen, 14 straight losses will wear on you. It'll do that to you. I mean, you saw those photos of him at the end of the game where his head's in his lap, and the way that game ended, and obviously all the stuff in the locker room as well. The reports coming out that he was the last one out of the locker room, didn't get to his press conference until 30 minutes after the game, didn't even take his pads off for a while. It'll weigh on you, especially the way you just lost. But you lose 14 in a row, it's tough, man. Now, the good news is he's coming off a really good game. I know it didn't end it the way he wanted to, but 335, 4 touchdowns. Did have the late game pick on the miscommunication with Cole Kmet, but there are some good things to build on. But I love this quote from Fields as well, because he was asked about his first 300-yard game, and he said, "I'd rather throw for 50 yards and 3 interceptions and win the game." He wants to win, man. He wants to win, and that's the number one job of a franchise quarterback, is to win football games, and this team's lost 14 in a row. You can't point the finger at one person, but Justin's got to wear that, obviously, as this team's starting quarterback. Matt Eberflus definitely has to wear that as this team's head coach, and everybody in that locker room, whether you were here last year or not, needs to take pride in this. You've got to find a way to win a football game very, very soon, and you got a chance to do it on Thursday Night Football. Washington, 6.5-point favorites at home against the Bears. This was a Thursday night game last year. It's again this year. Shout out Roger Goodell and his minions for doing that once again. But we'll see if they can do it, man. We'll see if they can do it. QB1's tired of losing, and I don't blame him. The guy's won his entire life, but it hasn't been able to happen for him in the NFL. He's 5-24 as a starter. That will weigh on any young quarterback, if we're being completely honest. Who you got in this one? Type CHI for the Chicago Bears. Type WAS for the Washington Commanders. Let us know. Pin comment who you got on Thursday night. And after this YouTube ad break, we'll tell you about the safety the Bears just signed. So the Bears have added safety Duron Harmon, who usually when you get these in-season signings, you're like, I've never heard of that guy, or maybe I have. I'm guessing a lot of you guys have heard of Duron Harmon. They poached him off the Ravens practice squad to the Bears' active 53-man roster. He's been around for a bit. 161 career games, 401 tackles, 23 interceptions, 43 breakups, 3 forced fumbles, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, by the way, as well. This is a guy that has been around and played some good football. He's 31, 32 years old, so he's certainly on the back nine of his career, but actually had a career high in tackles last year with 86, had a couple of picks. He has 2 interceptions in each of the past 4 years, so he's still a guy that can find the football. Now, you look at this safety position right now with Eddie Jackson. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play this week? We'll see. Elijah Hicks, I think, has been struggling as he's gotten to play some. Quindell Johnson, I mean, you signed him off waivers to start the season, so he's obviously a young player, undrafted rookie last year who you got after the Rams cut. So clearly you're going a different route here. You're going with a veteran who's played quite a bit. So I do wonder what that means for a couple of players. What does that mean for Eddie Jackson this week? What does that mean for Elijah Hicks moving forward? Is he getting pushed down a peg or two? We'll see. But this is a guy you bring in, I would imagine, to potentially play because he's started a bunch of games in this league and has had production. So definitely an interesting one here in Duron Harmon. I'll be fascinated to see where this goes as, again, he's been a guy that's played on a lot of different defenses and played pretty well over the years. All right, I've got a challenge for you guys. If we reach 75,000 subscribers before kickoff on Thursday Night Football, I'll chug a beer to start that game. We always do a lot of drinking anyway, but a bonus beer to kick off that watch party if we get to 75,000 subs. Before kickoff, less than 200 away. Help us out. Let's get there before kickoff. And speaking of which, we'll be live on 6 o'clock at 6 o'clock Central Time here on the channel for Thursday Night Football, Bears Commanders at FedEx Field. Game kicks off at 7:20. We'll be live starting at 6. So be sure to join us starting at 6 o'clock. And if you don't want to forget about it, subscribe, turn on notifications, and again, let's get to 75,000 subs. Okay, so as you talk about Duron Harmon joining the team, is Eddie Jackson going to play or not? He's missed the last 2 games with a foot injury. He is certainly hasn't been put on IR, so I think you got to think he's either back this week or next. You look at today's injury report, and these are just estimations because you don't really practice before Thursday Night Football because it's such a quick turnaround. Obviously, Chase Claypool did not practice. He's away from the team right now. We'll talk about him here in a little bit. Eddie Jackson was in the DNP estimation. Jaylon Johnson as well. I do not expect Jaylon Johnson to play this week. Teven Jenkins, who's still on IR, was a full participant. Again, not real practices, but full participant the last 2 days. We'll see if they activate him before Thursday night. Hopefully they do, and he's able to get out there. Now, Eddie Jackson on radio was asked on Monday night if he expects to return this week, and he said that's the plan. Now, again, just injury estimations, but on the 2 Bears injury reports this week, DNPs for both days. And now with the signing of Duron Harmon, I got to be honest, I'm a little skeptical that he plays this week. And to be honest, on a short week, if he's not, 100%, is it worth having him out there? You're an 0-4 football team. I mean, I don't think these players are punting on the year by any means. They need to win a game. Don't get me wrong. But you've got 10 days off before week 5. So I could see the Bears holding him out one more week. We'll see. Maybe he makes the trip, and then it's a game-time decision, something like that. But we'll have to see when it comes to Eddie Jackson. Okay, let's talk about Chase Claypool. It's been a polarizing topic, obviously. Report from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler earlier today that teams around the league think that the Bears will simply cut Chase Claypool, that they're not going to have to trade for him, interested teams, because they think the Bears will cut him. Now, the NFL trade deadline is not until October 31st, so they don't have to rush into a decision here if you're the Bears 4 weeks away, but I'll be honest, I don't have high hopes for a trade. I said yesterday 2 Smoking Jays. I think it's possible. Maybe a team throws a late conditional pick to the Bears but between now and the trade deadline, but I don't have that high of hopes, and there's 2 primary reasons why. One, he has not been productive since coming over to Chicago. In 10 games, he has less than 200 yards and only 1 touchdown. Just not very good. If he was lighting it up but was just a big distraction, there'd be a team that would make a move for him. But that is not the case. And then number 2, he doesn't have a good reputation at this point. And looking back on it, when Pittsburgh punted on a 6'4", 230-pound receiver who had some production in this league and was a young player on a cheap rookie contract, should have been a sign, man. If Mike Tomlin's done with you, then maybe you don't trade a second-round pick for that guy, and that's a mistake that Ryan Poles has to live with now. Now, I do want to talk about this. Justin Fields was asked about Chase Claypool today at his press conference, and this is being a good dude if you're Justin Fields right here. He says it sucks, but at the end of the day, you can't control it in terms of the Claypool situation. You've got to go out there with the guys that we have and execute like we did this past Sunday. I wish nothing but the best for Chase. I think he knows that he kind of messed up by saying what he said, but I wish him nothing but the best. He's a talented player, and he's a great person. He has a good heart and works really hard. Definitely going to be staying in touch with him regardless of what happens and wish him nothing but the best. He also said that after he found out that Claypool would be inactive, he called him last Saturday before the game on Sunday and said he was just checking up on him as a friend. Didn't really talk football, just wanted to make sure he was doing all right. And Claypool said he was, and he was just going to kind of keep to himself for now. So, it's unfortunate because Chase Claypool's talented. I don't think he's a bad guy by any means, but he clearly didn't meet the standards on the field, off the field, expectations, and he's got to own that as a player in this league. And, he's probably on, strike three, you're out. Whatever team gives him a chance next, if he doesn't reach basic expectations there, then his NFL career could be over much sooner than any of us had anticipated. For the Bears, obviously, it's brutal. You traded the number 32 overall pick for him and basically got nothing. So it is what it is, but good on Justin Fields checking in on a teammate. I think that's what you want out of a quarterback, so I want to give him a check mark in the right column for that one. Okay, what's going to happen with Claypool? Is he going to get traded or is he going to get cut? He's not going to stay here long term. I don't see that scenario playing out. T for trade, C for cut. What say you if you had to guess what's going to end up happening with Chase Claypool? All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's second Bears Now video. If you missed the one earlier on the channel, go check it out. It's in the content tab after you subscribe. We'll have a couple videos tomorrow, and then it's game freaking day, baby. Bears Commanders on Thursday Night Football. We'll see you then here on Bears Now.